So, I'd like to welcome you all to a genuine bargain. What I believe to be a genuine bargain. This is a 2015 Jaguar XE with just over 100,000 miles on it. Now, is this quality used product on the market at the moment that's not loads of money? I do drive a lot of used cars. It's one of my favorite things to do because in the broad scheme of life, I feel like some cars are just depreciating properly for you to get into. So this is one of those cars, the more, I'm going to say entry level, but it's not really entry because I mean it's really nice in here. The XE was the smallest sort of variant of the Jaguar at this time period with the 2-litre diesel engine. The first thing I wanted to actually pick up on though is not necessarily the drive, but we will get to that with 100,000 miles on, just to see what it's like and see if the, you know, money works out right with the drive and how it feels. But first thing I wanted to talk about is the inside. Now, a lot of reviewers and stuff were saying that, you know, when this car was new, the buttons weren't right and this and that, but I feel like this car now at 10, just shy of £11,000 this car is, it is, for the money, unbelievably lovely in here. Everything is placed out properly. There's no, you know, hidden silly buttons. Everything is there and correct. The gloss black in the centre is really cool. We will start it up though. I also really like this generation 3-spoke steering wheel that these have. Looks and sets the car up really nicely. It doesn't look out of place. Even, you know, we're in 2023 now, this is a 15-plate car. It doesn't look old than that. It looks quite contemporary, which is nice. So we will start it. 2-litre diesel engine in this one, as I've already said. This is only the 2-wheel drive variant as well. I will point that out because a lot of people were, I suppose they were moaning about the 4-wheel drive not being very nice. It felt a bit different in this size car, in this sort of chassis. Things to point out straight away is screen in the centre, very Jaguar Land Rover-esque of the era, does look period correct. You have a centre screen in front of you as well, with tons of buttons on the steering wheel. It's an easy car to get to grips with when you jump in this, which is really nice. Electronic handbrake is where it should be. Start-stop button is where it should be. Heated controls. Everything is where it should be. You're not sort of fumbling around if you were going from car to car like I always do to actually find out where you need to be. So as a car that is, you know, doing a lot of miles probably, because this is built for the executive man of today, driving up and down the motorway, if you were to just jump in this tomorrow, I think you'd be very at home in this car. This one, I will say as well, has got the Meridian sound system. Please get the Meridian sound system. It is so much better as a car, as a package. For me, cars like this need to tick a lot of boxes. The first one being, it needs to have a nice interior, nice comfy seat. You need to adjust it right. Then it needs to have cup holders. It has fantastic cup holders right here. As you can see, there's a monster can just right here. It then needs to do everything else. It needs to drive nice. It needs to do well economically. So, as we've got past the idea of this being a comfy, nice car inside, because again, I feel like if you're buying one of these, that's where you're gonna base your experience from, is actually from the driver's seat. We will come out of here. Now, the only modification that's on this car is it's got a stage 1 remap, bringing up the power figures a little bit. So what I'm going to experience today and the MPG levels and stuff is going to be slightly different to a factory car. First thing I was, you know, talking about to the owner was that it's a lot more responsive than it was as a factory car. So that stage 1 remap's really brought it up. Again, a 2-litre diesel engine. It's going to be good. It's a relatively new car, but bringing it up a notch, they always dumb down these cars from the factory, in my opinion. That's sort of how it works these days. So giving it a little fettling of a stage 1 remap is always a great idea. So the drive, 100,000 miles. Turn the radio right down, actually. No wind noise, no cabin noise, no road noise, so to speak of. And again, this is an entry-level Jaguar, so a 3 Series competitor, say. It's really, really quiet in here. I feel like Jaguar does that pretty well. The cabins are always very quiet and sophisticated in a way. It's a Jaguar, it's got to be. Now, just going on to the eco computer in front of me, something that a lot of the people that are wanting to drive these cars a lot, they're going to want to know this. The best trip on this car is 56 mpg. The last trip being 36. This trip, we're averaging, we're just shy of 40 mpg, and that is very quickly going up. So 56, 57 mpg on the best trip. So that's, I would say, you know, motorway journeys, you'll get that over 50 mpg. Round town, what I'm probably going to be doing today, we're going to be mid 40s very easily. The best thing I'm going to highlight about this car, first off, is value for money. I think is there, definitely value for money. Feels like a more premium product. Everything you touch is very premium. Leather on the steering wheel is definitely really nice. 100,000 miles as well, it's still very, very nice in comparison to other cars, you know, say from the mid 2010s and onwards that I've driven with 100,000 miles on it. The wear has been, you know, quite a lot more actually than this car, which is really good. Cabin's a nice place to be though when you are driving. If I was going to do a big journey in this, I think I'd be quite content with where to put my arms. You can snuggle right down into the seat, which is quite nice. The center console is actually quite high, a lot higher than I was expecting, and you do have this sort of multi-stage armrest on the driver's door. So if you want it to be here, you can be sort of up here if you want with the window switches, or you can be all the way up and drive like that. You have flappy paddles in this as well. This is an 8-speed variant of the XE. Two-tone red and black leather, looks quite good in this car. The red paint really sets it off. I feel like if it was black or any other colour, it wouldn't really suit it as well. It would sort of disguise some of the bulges and stuff. One of them being, in front of me right now, there is a bulged bonnet. You would expect this car to have a bigger engine with that bulged bonnet. It's very Jaguar-esque to have something like that in front of you, like in your eyesight as you're driving this car. So we will pull over and have a quick look round this Jaguar XE. Now, first thing I'm going to say is the colour makes the car, I feel like it just shows off so many lines, especially on the front end. Front end probably being my favourite part of the exterior of this car. This one though, with the red, has these sort of silvery accents going all the way around. Looks right with the red, I feel. Front end looks good though. That slight bulge in the bonnet as well, you can definitely see that on the red cars. A lot of people were saying they didn't like the rear end on these. I see why Jaguar did it, to make it slightly more compact at the back end. This one doesn't look too bad with the slight kit that's on it, and this one having the slight spoiler on the back as well does make a big difference in the way this car looks. So couple that with the red and the little accents around it, I quite like the outside of this one. Coming inside though is where I really feel a lot of people out there are going to spend most of their time. Of course, this I feel like is driven up and down motorways quite a lot, so we will jump in. We have 100,952 miles on this variant. Loads of gloss black in here though, with the cup holders. I've already said cup holders are a must in one of these cars. I feel like a lot of these cars, because they're on the motorway, my emphasis on a car like this is cup holders. The way it drives, comfort is where it needs to be. Starting point wise, it needs to be a good car in all of those places. Yes, I said cup holders because you're using this car in that element. You need to have all of the right controls in front of you, especially on the steering wheel, which this car has. Ease in cup holders and just space around the cabin. One thing I do like about this car though is that there is leather on the dash with this stitching, so that's something I really like in this one, as well as if we shut the door, the Meridian sound system. Fantastic upgrade for these XEs. Really just makes, again, the inside of the car correct in my opinion. We will just start it up though, and as you'll see, the gearbox rises to the occasion right in front of us. The multimedia screen, very simple to use, or unlike, you know, very new cars, everything is still an actual button, which I like. You know, driving a lot of new cars, you get these touchscreen or touch sensitive buttons. This one has still legit buttons on it, although you have, of course, touchscreen if needs be. We'll come through and look at the eco data, and yeah, 56 mpg, which is crazy. Go back to your home screen. Hear that? Proper buttons in this car, which I like. Heated seats as well. It is all a proper button. I like that. I prefer that in my cars. So this generation ticks the box there. But as we turn the car off and come back out, sorry about the wind noise, but the bargain and the value for money in this car is insane. I'm so impressed with how much you get for, say, your £11,000 these days. That is one hell of a car for the money. I must admit, and I'm going to say it again, 100,000 miles this car's got on it. No bangs, no knocks. It's actually really, really nice in here. You could tell me this had 40,000 miles on it and I probably wouldn't know the difference. Which is, again, a great thing from Jaguar. I'm glad that this feels this way. Honestly, for 10 and a bit, 11 grand, A 3 Series from this generation I feel would be a little bit more sporty. I feel like a Mercedes from this generation, we have shot a diesel C-Class with 120-ish thousand miles. That felt a lot more worn than this car did as a comparison. Maybe that's from car to car, but I feel like generally I've been in Mercedes with, you know, 100,000 miles, you know, 2010, 2015, you know, even 2017 with 100,000 miles on it. Feels a lot more worn than this car does today. So there we have it. I feel like this is a really good, you know, say you've got 10, 11 grand budget, and I'm going to say budget lightly there, car for that money and this era and this generation of Jaguar. And I will say thank you so much to Ventnor Service Station for letting me take this car out today. Massive thank you to them for, you know, giving us the keys to this. If you do want to go and follow them on social media, they have tons of cars for sale, tons of inventory. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.